Hey, Mad Jack the Creator here. A friend of mine just this morning said to me, I watched your video about AI and I thought you liked AI. I was surprised to hear you said that you didn't like it. And I thought, well, first of all, calm down, breathe through your eyes. I went back and looked at the video and I don't have any idea where he got the impression that I didn't like AI. What I said was, and I will say it again, is you need to be a little bit cautious with it. That's what we're going to talk about today on creating in the second half of life. Is exactly, is AI helpful to us? We talked about this the other day. It can be. Can it take away from what we're trying to accomplish? I think it can. And everything I'm going to tell you here is obviously my opinion, and you can take some of it, all of it, none of it. But I want to address some issues about AI, some things. First of all, I'm a newbie, as they would say, to the world of AI. Am I using it? I am. I'm using it for editing, other things like I've said before. Do I think it's the end all for writers? Not yet. I think we got a ways to go on that. I hope it never is the end all for writers. I mean, kind of kills off the human touch, wouldn't you say? But on the other hand, we can't be afraid of it. And those of us who, like I said, I'll be 67 in April. And I started dabbling with AI this year while I'm 66. So that obviously doesn't mean I'm a young techie by any stretch of imagination. I've got grandkids that know a whole lot more than I do. But I also understand a few things that you understand, because we understand together that we've learned in life. The landscape is always changing, no matter what it is. The type of cars, news 24 hours a day instead of just at 6 o'clock at night with Walter Cronkite, or maybe it was 5:30. Those things have all changed. You look at the world of music, it used to be albums and 45s and 8 tracks. Remember 8 tracks? Yeah, that was quite the deal. I always thought that when I was a kid, I thought 8 tracks was the coolest thing ever. Then we had cassettes, and then we had CDs, and now you have nothing but coming through the air music that is streamed to you. You can still get albums and those things, but people like that modernization, and that's what it is. It's streaming. So with that, in this high-tech world, we have AI, and it's used for just about everything right now by someone. As writers and creators, there's ways to use it that will be helpful. And I kind of going to go through those again, but I want you to think about this. So I'm going to tell you some specific things I think it can help with, and there's some things I think it shouldn't be used for. And you can take me up on these and disagree if you want to. But the things I have used it for, now this is just personally, I'm not talking about what other people have done with it. So what I've done in real experiences. The first thing I think AI can help with, and I'm not going to name a specific kind that you should use. I mean, you've got Chat GTP and Gemini, and there's all kinds of. But the first thing it would help with, I think, if we have writer's block, and people talk about writer's block and how you can't come up with an idea to get things started, and so it can give you some ideas. You can tell it you want some ideas to write a story about a park that you visited one time, or a town you were in, or a jazz singer from the 1950s or something like that. You can give it pretty much anything. It's amazing the amount of information that's in there. And it can give you some ideas and how to overcome your writer's block. Or if you're in the middle of a book you're already writing or a story, you can put into the system what you're writing about, and maybe you've reached a fork in the road where there really is no fork, it just stops. And it can give you some ideas how to continue. Those things it can do. It speeds things up for you. I'm using it for editing and some things, and it does speed that up. Is it perfect in editing? No. So you have to be careful with that. It seems to me, and this could be the user, it could be me, well, when I'm editing something that has a lot of conversation in it, has a little problem sometimes understanding what I'm trying to say. Because I write in terms of the way people really talk. And I don't write in perfect English or perfect American, whatever you want to call it. So sometimes it has a little trouble with that. But those are a couple of areas I think you can use as a writer. There's other areas too, but like I said, I'm only talking about the areas that I have actually used and experienced. And that right now, those are the two main ones. I've tossed up as an experiment different ideas to it. And I said, I'd like to write a book on such and such. Tell me what you think about this, or give me some ideas, or give me some chapters, or give me some outlines. And it'll do all that. Now, I haven't used that in a book yet. Will I? I don't think so. You know, I think if you're going to write something, I think you should write it. It doesn't mean the AI can't help you. It's up to you. You can have AI do the whole thing if you want to. But if you really want to create, are you creating anything then? No. You're creating a sentence you put in AI, and it's doing the rest of it. Now, it can help you, but I want to create what I want to create. Someone talks about some cons with AI. Those are some pros, some guarded pros, you might say. And I do think it's a wonderful thing. And it's here, and the landscape has changed. There's no doubt about it. A couple of things I want to point out. And AI even tells you this. Accuracy. You have to do your due diligence with AI. If you're writing something that's nonfiction, and you write a prompt, and we'll talk about what a prompt is in a minute. Most of you may know, maybe not. I didn't know what a prompt was till 6 months ago. But if you put the prompt in for which is a question or a request about something you want to write, you have to be careful, especially as I said, nonfiction, that AI gives you correct information. There's a warning on it. It'll tell you, and we're not always right. Now, I'm assuming that's because all this information is being added into AI, and maybe it's being added by humans. Lord knows, we never make mistakes, right? Well, it's being added by someone. Even if it's added by other AI, it has to start somewhere. So I believe there's probably human involvement at some point. But anyway, you have to check for accuracy. That's a big thing. Number two, and I've noticed this, I kind of touched on it, but what I did was I went ahead as an experiment, and I typed out a little scenario in there, and I had a couple characters I came up with. And I had these characters out along the riverbank fishing, and they were older fellas, and I told AI I wanted them to give me a scene. These guys were chewing tobacco. They were from Northeast Iowa, where I'm from, drinking a beer, fishing, hot summer day, and give me a conversation that these guys would have. And the conversation it gave me was kind of interesting, but it was nowhere close to what a couple of old farts from Northeast Iowa fishing on the river, drinking beer, and chewing skull are going to talk about. And what it is, and I had noticed in editing, as I said earlier, it doesn't have a personal voice. It doesn't quite get it. And I took it a step further, and I asked for it to give me some humorous ideas to put in another scenario. The scenario is not even that important. The end result is, and what it thinks is humorous is pretty light. I'm not sure I'd want to really call it humor. I wouldn't go listen to someone tell me these kind of jokes or read me a story like that and think that it's humorous. It really isn't all that fun. So that's another con. If you're going to write something, and I'm going to take that back. Maybe it's not a con. Maybe the pros and cons are a little different. Maybe that's almost a pro, because I think it kind of forces you and me to actually do what we said we're going to do and write the book, write the story, use AI as a tool if we choose to, and not let it do the work for us. It will do it for you, and it will do it fast. You would be amazed, and maybe you're not. Maybe you use it at work. But it's not you. And that goes to the third thing, which is in the pros and cons. It's a con, and that's the ethics. There's a lot of talk about this right now. In people I've talked to who've been using AI, I talked to someone at the library today. They talked about the number of books they got, and they don't think it's ethical. People are using AI to create a book. There's tons of YouTube videos from people who say, use AI and create a book, and go it through KDP, publish your book, make thousands of dollars, and you can do it in an hour. Well, are you putting your name on it? Are you? I don't know. Is that ethical? You have to enter the prompts to get it going. But is it really ethical to have AI write the book and put it out there? maybe in this day and age, it doesn't make any difference. I hope it makes a difference, but maybe it doesn't. To me, it does, and I think to you it does too. There's other things that they are discussing about AI in an ethical plus and minus, but I'm not going to get into all those things. As writers and creators, I think it's important. I want to talk about the prompts. I'm not going to keep you here much longer, but the prompts are a big thing. When you request something from AI, your prompts are very important on how you ask it. So if you want to write a book about fishing on the Mississippi River, and you just put, hey, tell me about how I catch walleyes in the Mississippi, and you put, okay, it'll tell a story about it. And if you say, I would say, how would I catch walleyes in the Guttenberg, Iowa area, or in the Louisiana area, on the Mississippi River in August, what type of bait to use, time of day to go, all things. What I'm saying is put more into your information into your prompt to get a better answer back. And if you're a writer, you want to have more information you can use. If you're trying to overcome writer's block, then get as much information to it about what you're trying to overcome so it can be useful to you. On the other hand, if you got that much information about the story, you really have writer's block? Maybe not. Yeah. I think AI can make us all lazy. If we let it, hopefully we don't. Anyway, I guess I want to close with that. And I want to say that AI can be very, very useful. It's here. Don't be afraid of it. I wouldn't overuse it. Like I said, what I'm telling you is my opinion. Everything you do is up to you. But I hope you get down, put the pen to the paper, like I always say to do every week. And it's important to do just that. So, I'm looking forward to seeing you again next time. And don't forget, write messy, but edit clean. See you later.